Great. Well, I know it's easier said than done, but really it's quite obvious, isn't it, in terms of targets now? Just keep those standards up as best you can.
Yeah, that's a clear message to the players. Keep the standards up. Try and keep consistent in the messages we're sending them. Also, making sure that they look after themselves in between games. Plenty of rest, plenty of sleep, eating the right foods. These are real key elements to keeping us fresh and physically right. Um, and that's really what the message is to the players, and obviously get as many wins as we can.
I know people will talk about the impressive second half performances from recent games, but certainly with the past two, a lot of work going into the first half of the matches, maybe not so much of the glamorous stuff, but giving you really good platforms.
Yeah, I feel that the Gillingham game was poor, the first half, we all know that. The first half against Wimbledon, if we're just talking about the recent games, it was okay, it was fine, and I thought the Plymouth game, as I said yesterday morning, it was a case of maybe not doing well enough, or the final pass or the final decision making was just not correct in the first half. Second half, we sorted that out. Second half against Wimbledon, we sorted that out. I think what you're also seeing is, which can't be ignored, is the quality of the goals we've scored have been very, very good. If you look back at the goals we scored against Gillingham, there was good quality in the finishes. John was second finish. Our third goal was very good. Dems's goal, I know the first one's a mistake. Dems's goal is an excellent goal. So the quality is really shining through. We've also got the goals against Wimbledon. Sammy's first two goals are outstanding, in terms of the quality, the pass from Brown to Dems to set to Sammy up. And then obviously the other night, real quality goals. So I think that can't be ignored,
Do you think the Wigan game at the weekend, will it have perhaps a similar pattern to AFC Wimbledon? I guess they'll look at your home record and clearly they'll think, well, we've got to show them respect. Will it be a case of them coming along, packing midfield, and making life as difficult as possible?
I don't know. We have to prepare for each different scenario that we may face. If I had to, well, you've asked the question, if I had to give you an answer now, I would say they're going to come and have a right go. I've watched their last two games. They've been very aggressive. They've played a lot of players in the middle of the pitch with a diamond, but they've been very back to front play when they get in our hat and in your own hat in the attacking half. Some very talented players. This is going to be a tough game. There's no doubt about it, and we're going to have to continue doing the things that we've been doing of late.
And their away record actually isn't too bad. If you look at the past 8 for them on the road, they've won 4 of them. So it underlines what you're saying, really. They've got something about them.
Yeah, they have. They've got some good players. And obviously they've had a topsy-turvy season in terms of a few seasons. You would have to say that club now, it's a big club. They've obviously changed managers and all the rest of it. But I think if you look at the players they've got, they'll put on the team sheet and they'll put out on the pitch, there's some very talented boys there. There's no getting away from that. There's some experience there as well, mixed with a good blend of youth. So I think it's going to be another difficult game. And I think the key to us is remaining consistent in the performances, the standard we set. If we don't get to that level, which can happen because the lads they're human beings, we have to dig results out. And win whatever way we can. But I have to make the point, there's no anyone getting carried away. And I've got to maintain the message to the players that we have to take each game as it comes. Nothing is won in the end of February. We're coming now to the business end of the season, the last third, and we have to continue this run as long as we can.
Does the journey that you've been on, what we've seen already this season, does that help with that keeping feet on the ground, in that there have been tough points, there have been games where, as you say, it hasn't necessarily been your day, but you've found a way to win all of those challenges? Presumably that helps with keeping everyone level-headed.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're in a similar position, obviously not league-wise, but I think if you look at over this season and obviously the last season that got curtailed, it's been good. We've been consistent. We've hit good form at the right time. We've done it again this season. So now we're coming into, obviously, last game in February. Now we're coming into a very busy March. And as I've said to the players before this run of games, there was 42 days we had to cover. That will get you to the end of March. And by the time you come out of that, then we'll know where we're at. So listen, it's a game at a time. And that's all we're focusing on. And that's all I keep saying to the players. Can we be good enough to beat Wigan on Saturday? That's all we need to focus on.
I know it's a little bit of a football cliche in that people will say any good side needs a strong spine to the team, but you look through your current squad and from Christy Pym at one end to Jonson Clarke-Harris at the other, through the likes of a Nathan Thompson or a Jack Taylor, it seems to me that having a strong spine is really serving you well.
Yeah, I think you need that in every team, especially a successful team, you know. And I think we've got that. And I think I know they're a very good group. I know they're together. But yeah, you look through the spine of the team, you've got Pimmy, who's in good form. Beeves, won promotions. Frankie, who's really grown up and matured and improved as a player since he's been with us. Nathan Thompson, very, very experienced. And then you go through the middle of the pitch, probably not as much experience there, but quality. You know, Jack Taylor, Brownie, Ethan, Reedy, 4 good players. Jono's experienced. Sammy Smodish is experienced, even though he's not that old. We've got the legs on, you know, in the team as well, the energy. Yeah, there's a good blend to what we're doing, but the players fully understand the position we're in is because of all the hard work they've put in and the sacrifice. And I think that's key. We have to sacrifice for each other every time we go out on the training ground and every time we play a game. And that's what we're doing at the moment, and we have to continue it. There's no letting up. We have to keep putting our foot down, see where it takes us.
Yeah, it's really been that kind of season. For Nathan, his longest run of consecutive starts in the side for you, and we know what he's all about. We know how good he is as a player. He almost performs 2 roles, doesn't he? He has so much about him that he almost brings a couple of players into the side, what he does defensively, what he does going forward, and I suppose his overall demeanour as well.
Yeah, you know, when you come up against players, and obviously I've come up against Nathan quite a few times throughout his career. When he was at Swindon, he played in the middle of a 3 centre-halves, and when Swindon arguably had the best team for a long while, and got to the playoff final. When he was at Portsmouth, it was more as a right back. But when you work with people, it's only when you get to know them, their characters, what they're like, personalities, how professional they are. He's a top player, Nathan. He's a top professional. He's been outstanding for us. You know, maybe a bit of a slow start, but since he's got in the team, he has never looked back. And he's a key player for us. You can play in the middle of centre-halves in a 3, play in the right of a 3. He can play it right back. And for me, he could play in the middle of the pitch. He's very versatile, very good tactically. He understands when you tell him something in a specific role, does it very well. Very good defender, not nice to play against. We understand he does pick up bookings and he's got that edge to him. You know, the other night, Danny Mayer beats him in the middle of the pitch. On another night, he brings him down. But he knows at the moment he's just got to be careful. And he made the right decision because 60 yards from goal, he shouldn't really bother you too much. So, yeah, he's been a top signing for us.
Has your goalkeeping situation resolved itself? Is that now all okay?
Yeah, it was a funny one, that, because I know it was documented about Luke Steele, and we did try and get Luke back because we felt that putting Tiles on the bench, although Tiles is fit, he hasn't trained and it wasn't ideal. We've got away with it, touch wood. You know, Dan or Will be back on the bench for Saturday. But we couldn't sign Luke Steele because of some reason and some rules that are, it'll take me a month to go into it with you, so I won't do that, which was unfortunate. But I suppose, you know, it was just unfortunate what happened to the 2 other goalkeepers. And unfortunately, nothing's happened to Pimmy, and hopefully that continues.
And COVID-wise, injuries all looking okay?
Yeah, the players will be tested tomorrow. So injury-wise, we're all right, Peter. Touch wood, we're fine. There's no knocks from Saturday. We've freshened the players right up, to be honest. Because again, we've got another 3 games next week, obviously starting on Saturday. So I think it's important that they get a lot of freshness between these games.